The animals in that country. In that country, the animals have the faces of people, the ceremonial cats possessing the streets, the fox run politely to earth, the huntsmen standing around him, fixed in their tapestry of manners, the bull embroidered with blood and given an elegant death, trumpets, his name stamped on him, heraldic brand, because when he rolled on the sand, sword in his heart, the teeth in his blue mouth were human, he is really a man. Even the wolves, holding resonant conversations in their forests thickened with legend. In this country, the animals have the faces of animals. Their eyes flash once in car headlights and are gone. Their deaths are not elegant. They have the faces of no one. A foundling. He left himself on my doorstep, abandoned in the shabby basket of his own ribs. My heart wept custard. I took him in. Warmed in the kitchen, he swelled, absorbing. He will not leave. I am afraid to move him. What should I feed him? He never talks. He sits in the middle of the kitchen floor, staring at the bright scars traced on his body, fascinated. At first I thought that they were notched on him by pain, but now I see that they are only the colored pictures of places he once lived and thinks that no one else has ever been. The landlady. This is the lair of the landlady. She is a raw voice loose in the rooms beneath me, the continuous hen-yard squabble going on below thought in this house like the bicker of blood through the head. She is everywhere, intrusive as the smells that bulge in under my doorsill. She presides over my meager eating, generates the light for eye strain. From her I rent my time. She slams my days like doors. Nothing is mine. And when I dream images of daring escapes through the snow, I find myself walking always over a vast face, which is the landlady's, and wake up shouting. She is a bulk, a knot swollen in space. Though I have tried to find some way around her, my senses are cluttered by perception and can't see through her. She stands there, a raucous fact, blocking my way, immutable, a slab of what is real, solid as bacon. At the tourist center in Boston. There is my country under glass, a white relief map with red dots for the cities, reduced to the size of a wall, and beside it 10 blown-up snapshots, one for each province, in purple browns and odd reds, the green of the trees dulled, all blues, however, of an assertive purity. Mountains and lakes and more lakes, though Quebec is a restaurant, and Ontario the empty interior of the Parliament buildings, with nobody climbing the trails and hauling out the fish and splashing in the water, but arrangements of grinning tourists. Look here, Saskatchewan is a flat lake, some convenient rocks, where 2 children pose with a father, and the mother is cooking something in immaculate slacks by a smokeless fire, her teeth white as detergent. Whose dream is this, I would like to know? Is this a manufactured hallucination, a cynical fiction, a lure for export only? I seem to remember people, at least in the cities, also slush, machines, and assorted garbage. Perhaps that was my private mirage, which will just evaporate when I go back. Or the citizens will be gone, run off to the peculiarly green forests, to wait among the brownish mountains for the platoons of tourists and plan their odd red massacres. Unsuspecting window lady, I ask you, do you see nothing watching you from under the water? Was the sky ever that blue? Who really lives there? Rooming house, winter. Cat prints, dog prints, marks of ancient children have made the paths we follow to the vestibule piled with overshoes, ownerless letters, a wooden sled. The threadbare treads on the stairs, the trails worn by alien feet in time through the forest snowdrifts of the corridor to this remnant, this discarded door. What disturbs me in the bathroom is the unclaimed toothbrush. In the room itself, none of the furniture is mine. The plates are on the table to weight it down. I call you sometimes to make sure you are still there. Tomorrow, when you come to dinner, they will tell you I never lived here. My window is a funnel for the shapes of chaos. In the backyard, frozen bones, the children's voices, derelict objects. Inside, the wall buckles, the pressure balanced by this clear, small silence. We must resist. We must refuse to disappear. I said, in exile, survival is the first necessity. After that, I say this tentatively, we might begin. Survive what, you said? In the weak light, you looked over your shoulder. You said, nobody ever survives. Game after supper. This is before electricity. It is when there were porches. On the sagging porch, an old man is rocking. The porch is wooden. The house is wooden and gray. In the living room, which smells of smoke and mildew, soon the woman will light the kerosene lamp. There is a barn, but I am not in the barn. There is an orchard, too, gone bad, its apples like soft cork, but I am not there either. I am hiding in the long grass with my two dead cousins, the membrane grown already across their throats. We hear crickets and our own hearts close to our ears. Though we giggle, we are afraid. From the shadows around the corner of the house, a tall man is coming to find us. He will be an uncle if we are lucky. Girl and Horse, 1928. You are younger than I am. You are someone I never knew. You stand under a tree, your face half-shadowed, holding the horse by its bridle. Why do you smile? Can't you see the apple blossoms falling around you? Snow, sun, snow. Listen, the tree dries and is being burnt. The wind is bending your body. Your face ripples like water. Where did you go? But no, you stand there exactly the same. You can't hear me. 40 years ago you were caught by light and fixed in that secret place where we live, where we believe nothing can change, grow older. On the other side of the picture, the instant is over. The shadow of the tree has moved. You wave, then turn and ride out of sight through the vanished orchard, still smiling as though you do not notice. The small cabin. The house we built gradually from the ground up when we were young, 3 rooms, the walls raw trees. Burned down last year, they said. I didn't see it, and so the house is still there in me. Among branches, as always, I stand inside it, looking out at the rain moving across the lake. But when I go back to the empty place in the forest, the house will blaze and crumple suddenly in my mind, collapsing like a cardboard carton thrown on a bonfire, summers crackling, my earlier selves outlined in flame. Left in my head will be the blackened earth, the truth. Where did the house go? Where do the words go when we have said them? Midwinter, pre-solstice. The cold rises around our house. The wind drives through the walls in splinters. On the inside of the window, behind the blanket we have hung, a white mold thickens. We spend the days quietly trying to be warm. We can't look through the glass. In the refrigerator, old food sickens, gives out. I dream of departures, meetings, repeated weddings with a stranger, wounded with knives and bandaged, his face hidden. All night my gentle husband sits alone in the corner of a gray arena, guarding a paper bag which holds turnips and apples and my head, the eyes closed. "6 a.m., Boston, summer sublet. Through the screened window, around, above, the leaves and roofs of August in the gleaming pause before dust, city birds making their single note at the first light, a cricket still pulsing. Down there, the white lawn chairs wait round the wooden table. Rain shimmers in someone else's outdoor grill. Awake too early, I walk back and forth across the granular apartment floorboards, windowsill the border between this air and a dawn mirage of water, my mind testing the outside like a foot withdrawn. Hidden things, faint smells of burning, motors beginning, broken glass. Dreams of the animals. Mostly the animals dream of other animals, each according to its kind, though certain mice and small rodents have nightmares of a huge pink shape with 5 claws descending. Moles dream of darkness and delicate mole smells. Frogs dream of green and golden frogs, sparkling like wet suns among the lilies. Red and black striped fish, their eyes open, have red and black striped dreams, defense, attack, meaningful patterns. Birds dream of territories enclosed by singing. Sometimes the animals dream of evil in the form of soap and metal, but mostly the animals dream of other animals. There are exceptions. The silver fox in the roadside zoo dreams of digging out, and of baby foxes, their necks bitten. The caged armadillo near the train station, which runs all day in figure eights, its piglet feet pattering, no longer dreams, but is insane when waking. The iguana in the pet shop window on St. Catherine Street, crested, royal-eyed, ruling its kingdom of water dish and sawdust, dreams of sawdust. Cyclops. You, going along the path, mosquito-doped, with no moon, the flashlight a single orange eye, unable to see what is beyond the capsule of your dim sight, what shape contracts to a heart with terror, bumps among the leaves, what makes a bristling noise like a fur throat. Is it true you do not wish to hurt them? Is it true you have no fear? Take off your shoes then, let your eyes go bare, swim in their darkness as in a river. Do not disguise yourself in armor. They watch you from hiding. You are a chemical smell, a cold fire. You are giant and indefinable. In their monstrous night, thick with possible claws, where danger is not knowing, you are the hugest monster. Younger sister going swimming, northern Quebec. Beside this lake, where there are no other people, my sister in bathing suit continues her short, desolate parade to the end of the dock. Against the boards, her feet make sad statements she thinks no one can hear. I sit in a deck chair, not counting, invisible. The sun wavers on this page as on a pool. She moves the raft out past the sandy point. No one comes by in a motorboat. She would like to fill the lake with other swimmers, with answers. She calls her name. The sun encloses rocks, trees, her feet in the water, the circling bays and hills as before. She poises, raises her arms as though signaling, then disappears. The lake heals itself quietly of the wound left by the diver. The air quakes and is still. Under my hand, the paper closes over these marks I am making on it. The words ripple, subside, move outwards toward the shore. Power politics. You fit into me like a hook into an eye, a fish hook, an open eye. You take my hand and I'm suddenly in a bad movie. It goes on, and why am I fascinated? We waltz in slow motion through an air stale with aphorisms. We meet behind endless potted palms. You climb through the wrong windows. Other people are leaving, but I always stay till the end. I paid my money. I want to see what happens. In chance bathtubs, I have to peel you off me in the form of smoke and melted celluloid. Have to face it, I'm finally an addict. The smell of popcorn and worn plush lingers for weeks. They eat out. In restaurants, we argue over which of us will pay for your funeral, though the real question is whether or not I will make you immortal. At the moment, only I can do it, and so I raise the magic fork over the plate of beef-fried rice and plunge it into your heart. There is a faint pop, a sizzle, and through your own split head you rise up glowing. The ceiling opens, a voice sings, love is a many-splendored thing. You hang suspended above the city in blue tights and a red cape, your eyes flashing in unison. The other diners regard you, some with awe, some only with boredom. They cannot decide if you are a new weapon or only a new advertisement. As for me, I continue eating. I liked you better the way you were, but you were always ambitious. My beautiful wooden leader, with your heart full of medals made of wood, fixing it each time so you almost win, you long to be bandaged before you have been cut. My love for you is the love of one statue for another, tensed and static. General, you enlist my body in your heroic struggle to become real. Though you promise bronze rescues, you hold me by the left ankle so that my head brushes the ground, my eyes are blinded, my hair fills with white ribbons. There are hordes of me now, alike and paralyzed. We follow you, scattering floral tributes under your hooves. Magnificent on your wooden horse, you point with your fringed hand. The sun sets and the people all ride off in the other direction. We are hard on each other and call it honesty, choosing our jagged truths with care and aiming them across the neutral table. The things we say are true. It is our crooked aims, our choices, turn them criminal. Of course your lies are more amusing. You make them new each time. Your truths, painful and boring, repeat themselves over and over, perhaps because you own so few of them. A truth should exist. It should not be used like this. If I love you, is that a fact or a weapon? Does the body lie, moving like this? Are these touches, hairs, wet, soft marble my tongue runs over, lies you are telling me? Your body is not a word. It does not lie or speak truth either. It is only here or not here. At first I was given centuries to wait in caves, in leather tents, knowing you would never come back. Then it speeded up, only several years between the day you jangled off into the mountains and the day, it was spring again, I rose from the embroidery frame at the messenger's entrance. That happened twice, or was it more? And there was once, not so long ago, you failed and came back in a wheelchair with a mustache and a sunburn and were insufferable. Time before last, though, I remember I had a good 8 months between running alongside the train, skirts hitched, handing you violets in at the window, and opening the letter. I watched your snapshot fade for 20 years. And last time I drove to the airport, still dressed in my factory overalls, the wrench I had forgotten sticking out of the back pocket. There you were, zippered and helmeted. It was 0 hour. You said, be brave. It was at least 3 weeks before I got the telegram and could start regretting. But recently, the bad evenings, there are only seconds between the warning on the radio and the explosion. My hands don't reach you, and on quieter nights, you jump up from your chair without even touching your dinner, and I can scarcely kiss you goodbye before you run out into the street and they shoot. You refuse to own yourself. You permit others to do it for you. You become slowly more public. In a year, there will be nothing left of you but a megaphone. Or you will descend through the roof with the spurious authority of a government official, blue as a policeman, gray as a used angel, having long forgotten the difference between an annunciation and a parking ticket. Or you will be slipped under the door, your skin furred with canceled airmail stamps, your kiss no longer literature but fine print, a set of instructions. If you deny these uniforms and choose to repossess yourself, your future will be less dignified, more painful, death will be sooner. It is no longer possible to be both human and alive. Lying piled with the others, your face and body covered so thickly with scars, only the eyes show through. They are hostile nations. In view of the fading animals, the proliferation of sewers and fears, the sea clogging, the air nearing extinction. We should be kind. We should take warning. We should forgive each other. Instead, we are opposite. We touch as though attacking. The gifts we bring, even in good faith maybe, warp in our hands to implements, to maneuvers. Put down the target of me you guard inside your binoculars. In turn, I will surrender this aerial photograph, your vulnerable sections marked in red, I have found so useful. See, we are alone in the dormant field, the snow that cannot be eaten or captured. Here there are no armies. Here there is no money. It is cold and getting colder. We need each other's breathing, warmth. Surviving is the only war we can afford. Stay walking with me. There is almost time. If we can only make it as far as the possibly last summer. They were all inaccurate. The hinged bronze man, the fragile man built of glass pebbles, the fanged man with his opulent capes and boots, peeling away from you in scales. It was my fault, but you helped. You enjoyed it. Neither of us will enjoy the rest. You following me down streets, hallways, melting when I touch you, avoiding the sleeves of the bargains I hold out for you, your face corroded by truth, crippled, persistent. You ask like the wind again and again and wordlessly for the one forbidden thing, love without mirrors and not for my reasons but your own. Tricks with mirrors. It's no coincidence this is a used furniture warehouse. I enter with you and become a mirror. Mirrors are the perfect lovers. That's it. Carry me up the stairs by the edges. Don't drop me. That would be bad luck. Throw me on the bed, reflecting side up. Fall into me. It will be your own mouth you hit, firm and glassy. Your own eyes you find you are up against, closed, closed. There is more to a mirror than you looking at your full-length body, flawless but reversed. There is more than this dead blue oblong eye turned outwards to you. Think about the frame. The frame is carved. It is important. It exists. It does not reflect you. It does not recede and recede. It has limits and reflections of its own. There's a nail in the back to hang it with. There are several nails. Think about the nails. Pay attention to the nail marks in the wood. They are important, too. Don't assume it is passive or easy, this clarity with which I give you yourself. Consider what restraint it takes. Breath withheld, no anger or joy disturbing the surface of the ice. You are suspended in me, beautiful and frozen. I preserve you. In me you are safe. It is not a trick either. It is a craft. Mirrors are crafty. I wanted to stop this life flattened against the wall, mute and devoid of color, built of pure light. This life of vision only, split and remote, a lucid impasse. I confess, this is not a mirror. It is a door I am trapped behind. I wanted you to see me here. Say the releasing word, whatever that may be. Open the wall. Instead, you stand in front of me, combing your hair. You don't like these metaphors. All right. Perhaps I am not a mirror. Perhaps I am a pool. Think about pools. You are happy. The water turns a long way down over the raw stone, ice crusts around it. We walk separately along the hill to the open beach, unused picnic tables, wind shoving the brown waves, erosion, gravel rasping on gravel. In the ditch, a deer carcass, no head, bird running across the glaring road against the low pink sun. When you are this cold, you can think about nothing but the cold, the images hitting into your eyes like needles, crystals. You are happy. There is only one of everything. Not a tree, but the tree we saw. It will never exist, split by the wind and bending down like that again. What will push out of the earth later, making it summer, will not be grass, leaves, repetition. There will have to be other words. When my eyes close, language vanishes. The cat with the divided face, half black, half orange, nests in my scruffy fur coat. I drink tea, fingers curved around the cup. Impossible to duplicate these flavors. The table and freak plates glow softly, consuming themselves. I look out at you and you occur in this winter kitchen, random as trees or sentences, entering me, fading like them. In time you will disappear. But the way you dance by yourself on the tile floor to a worn song, flat and mournful, so delighted, spoon waved in one hand, wisps of roughened hair sticking up from your head. It's your surprised body, pleasure I like. I can even say it, though only once and it won't last. I want this. I want this. Late August. This is the plum season, the nights blue and distended, the moon hazed. This is the season of peaches, with their lush lobed bulbs that glow in the dusk, apples that drop and rot sweetly, their brown skins veined as glands. No more the shrill voices that cried need, need, from the cold pond, bladed and urgent as new grass. Now it is the crickets that say ripe, ripe, slurred in the darkness, while the plums dripping on the lawn outside our window burst with a sound like thick syrup, muffled and slow. The air is still warm. Flesh moves over flesh. There is no hurry. Book of Ancestors. Book of Ancestors, these brutal with curled beards and bulls' heads, these flattened, slender with ritual, these contorted by ecstasy or pain, these bearing knife, leaf, snake, and these closer to us, copper hawkman arched on the squat rock pyramid, the plumed and beak-nosed priests pressing his arms and feet down, heart slashed from his opened flesh, lifted to where the sun, red and dilated with his blood, glows in the still hungry sky. Whether he thinks this is an act of will, the life set free by him alone, offered, ribs expanding by themselves, bone petals, the heart released and flickering in the taloned hand, handful of liquid fire joined to that other fire, an instant before the sacrificed eyes burst like feathered stars in the darkness of the painted border. So much for the gods and their static demands. Our demands, former demands, death patterns obscure as fragments of an archaeology, these frescoes on a crumbling temple wall we look at now and can scarcely piece together. History is over. We take place in a season, an undivided space. No necessities hold us closed, distort us. I lean behind you, mouth touching your spine. My arms around you, palm above the heart, your blood insistent under my hand, quick and mortal. Midwinter, the window is luminous with blown snow. The fire burns inside its bars. On the floor, your body curves like that, the ancient pose, neck slackened, arms thrown above the head, vital throat and belly lying undefended. Light slides over you. This is not an altar. They are not acting or watching. You are intact. You turn towards me, your eyes opening, the eyes intricate and easily bruised. You open yourself to me gently, what they tried, we tried, but could never do before, without blood, the killed heart. To take that risk, to offer life and remain alive. Open yourself like this and become whole.